He always just goes to attack when like defenders.
I think it's like
Earlier today, folks, you would have seen the following. Viktor Gyökeres does not intend to report for Sporting Lisbon training and is pursuing his Arsenal transfer. By now, this has been the saga. You know, it was Sesko and Gyokeres. It's now moved to Gyökeres. From a personal point with Gyökeres, it's to say it's turned ugly at Sporting Lisbon is an understatement. We've seen the president talk, the ex-president talk, figures in and around the club speak, his agent speak. Gyökeres is now, you know, we're going to get into it, but, you know, he's apparently left his girlfriend. He's given up on the, I think, about £2 odd million to force this move. You know, there's this whole gentleman's agreement. Was it in place? Was it not? Unfortunately, in business, I's need to be dotted and T's need to be crossed. If it isn't in cold-hearted writing that you could leave at X for X amount, which at this moment in time is his 100 million release clause, you get into situations like this where Sporting gave him a platform. Gyökeres did the business. He's won 2 trophies in 2 league titles in a row and a couple of other trophies, and now he wants to make the next step. I don't blame Sporting for what it's worth, people. It's probably an effort of saving a bit of face, you know, to the public and how they're perceived, because if one player can do this type stuff, like what could others do? But also, I don't think it's right. There's no right and wrong in football and in business. They're in every position to want to get as much money as they can to not only get a replacement, but do other things. And again, they know the Premier League has money. Even I mentioned Sesko, did I not, people? Sesko, if Sesko doesn't sign that new deal last season, in hindsight, he's probably an Arsenal player or he moves. He had a £60 million contract release clause in his deal before he obviously signed a new one last year. So we'll have to see. As I said, this is an ever developing story. And ironically, last Sunday, we initially heard Arsenal were in talks and Bert was allegedly in Portugal. Hope we get a striker in before pre-season. Smash the like button and let me know your thoughts. Viktor Gyökeres to be fined and told to apologize after missing Sporting return, says the president. Now, obviously, the president's going to hit out and come at this, you know, all guns blazing. Gyökeres and his advisors, they're not idiots. You know, maybe Gyökeres did this at his own accord. Maybe it's in tandem with his agent. This is calculated. And my point of saying that is to say this. You know, there's a knock-on effect. You expect to be fined and things of that ilk. The Athletic have reported Viktor Gyökeres will be fined by Sporting and told to apologize to his teammates after missing his deadline to report to preseason training, the club's president has said. Now, if he doesn't have any intention of going back, I don't think he's going to say privately sorry to you. Like, he might to his trusted teammates and whatnot, but he's not going to say it under the conditions you want. Apparently, Arsenal are working to sign Gyokeres and have a 5-year deal prepared, subject to an agreement being reached over a fee with the 2 clubs in advanced talks. Do I speak for every Arsenal fan where I say we hear that? We love the fact that you've decided on a target, locking in, Bert has come in, and Bert we trust and all that, but advanced talks, all this kind of stuff, you just want to really see a fee agreed, medicals, and the man's in the shirt. We're led to believe currently there's a 5 million kind of difference between Arsenal and Sporting. I think we will get to an agreement, but stranger things have happened. The Sweden international's absence from training does not come as a surprise, with the Athletic reporting on Friday the striker did not intend to turn up as he pursues a move to Arsenal. Check out the video I did earlier today because he gave an interview in L'Equipe and it has some interesting sound bites. Gyökeres believes Sporting president Varandas has gone back on an agreement to let him go for 60 million euros plus 10 million euros, which Arsenal have already surpassed, but still no agreement is in place on the fee. So maybe the fee isn't the issue, it's the makeup of the deal, how much they get in, not necessarily, but when they're owed certain monies, that seems to be it. Apparently, Sporting's president has said, "We're calm. Everything will be resolved with the closing of the market, a heavy fine and an apology to the group. If they, in brackets, interested clubs, don't want to pay fair market value for Victor, we are very comfortable with that for the next 3 years, the length of his contract." So that's, you've got a contract, you're going to have to return at some point. If they don't hit our asking price, you're not getting him. And he is, I guess, right in that he does have 3 years left. Now, Sporting know that there's no way to go back. Stranger things have happened and people have, you know, resolved issues, but it kind of feels like it is what it is. He probably will be sold, but they want to do it on their terms. And I remember, because we've been speaking about this story as Arsenal fans, you know, in my case on YouTube with you guys, did the last time, well, not even the last time, but when the president spoke, he did say something. He definitely mentioned Anthony, and I think he mentioned Zubamendi as well. I could be wrong on that, people, in terms of their fees. Varandas said the recent events did not make the 27-year-old's exit from Sporting more likely, and reiterated he would not be pressured into a transfer. And he's come out and already hit at the agent prior. If the geniuses who are devising this strategy think that this puts pressure on me to facilitate the exit, they are not only completely wrong, but also making the players' exit even more complicated. So that's you lot act up, we'll act up. And, you know, I'm sure Gyökeres probably planned on going on strike on his own accord. But again, his agent's job is to get his client what he wants. That's to get out of the football club. Clearly, that disagreements about the fee he can leave and all of those things. So the agents, the advisors, Gyökeres, clearly they've hatched this plan to go on strike, and it probably was the last chance saloon. It probably was a game of chicken, and he now has to follow kind of fruit. No one is above the club's interest, whoever they may be. So I think it's all being said there. Sporting squad left for the training camp in Algarve without the striker. They play Celtic on Wednesday and Sunderland 5 days later as they begin their own preparations for the 2025-26 season. 54 goals in 52 games, people, in 2024-25. He helped them secure the Portuguese League and Cup double. He has 97 goals in 102 games for Sporting, just shy of 100, which would have added even more romance on the story, I guess. Apparently, a lawyers offered their own opinions on Gyökeres not returning to training. And what do you lot make of this? Subscribe and smash the like button. You can't. Missing training without justification is an infraction, and 5 consecutive unjustified absences or 10 absences are sufficient grounds for dismissal with cause. However, the law allows for various justifications. Gyökeres can always provide some justifications: a family problem, the need to accompany a relative to the doctor. The list of justifications is long, but the player announced the absence early, and the reason is that he wants to go to Arsenal. This limits his justification. If he misses sport and could even fine him, or if the absence continues, apply more severe sanctions, including dismissal without compensation. I mean, that would be great if you could get him as a free agent, but that's not going to happen. So forget that. In any other walk of life, probably in football, the water's a bit more cloudy or muddied. But that's what Gyokeres wants. And dismissal would be terrible for Sporting, a financial asset, because the player is a club asset, would go from being worth 65 million euros, the value of Arsenal's offer, to being worth none. And also, Coventry are owed some sort of sell-on clause from this deal, and I'm sure they signed Gyokeres for about 20 odd million quid. Don't quote me, but you can't not love the guy. As I said, check out the video I did earlier, people. But how good would it be to have a striker that speaks like this? When asked if he's the best in the world, or one of the best, sorry, I'm definitely one of them. It's difficult to rank me, but I'm at the same table as them now. What I managed to do at Sporting, I'm convinced I can do anywhere. You haven't seen the best Gyokeres yet. And it was labelled as a key day for Gyokeres today, people, or what was of Saturday. Sporting have told Gyokeres he must return to training, but the Swedish striker is expected to refusing any kind of makeways in that, having made his position clear to the club all summer. Sporting have once again informed Arsenal they want 70 million euros fixed, keyword fixed, plus add-ons. Arsenal Sporting again have agreed terms apparently on a 5-year deal. So we'll have to see that, people. But it is quite fighting talk, really and truly. So all options are on the table. The man has failed to report for Sporting training. He targets the Arsenal move. Hopefully next week's a massive week. Liverpool apparently want Rodrigo. He's been linked with several clubs, and again, one that I have covered before. Fabrizio Romano has said he understands Arsenal have made progress in recent days for Ethan Nwaneri's new deal. Finished his under-21s campaign with England, and it seems like this is accelerating. The club has presented the vision/project for Nwaneri in the upcoming years, including discussions on game time. Arsenal hopeful to get green light and sign a new contract soon, people. Karl Hein is being targeted by Sevilla, people who want him on loan with an option to buy. Apparently, we have an option in his contract to extend it by a year, and his current deal ends in 2026. Now, you could make a case of that. Personally, I think we all want a permanent sell. And Sevilla, we all knew when they took Lokonga with the option to buy, not an obligation, if his form wasn't out of this world and all of that, they were going to probably, if they want to keep him, which they weren't, they're not going to take out their buy option. They're going to try and barter that down lower. That would probably be the case with him. Noni Madueke has returned to England from America, where he was with Chelsea, to continue his medicals and medical tests, as this move for 52 million in total from Chelsea to Arsenal is about to be confirmed. The Gunner blog and The Athletic said Ademola Lookman was looked at by Arsenal but was deemed expensive. Now, I know Madueke is 23, Lookman is 27. I think Lookman's better at this moment in time. You know, I hope Madueke proves me wrong in that, because you're about to sign for us. But apparently Atalanta are open to negotiating, selling him for lower than 50 million euros. Food for thought, potentially, people. Once again, Madueke's total move is 48 million plus 4 million in add-ons. Arsenal remain interested in Rodrigo, despite them finalizing a 50 million deal for Madueke, people. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on. But can we just get Gyokeres confirmed and take it from there?
Always